In the 1992-93 season, York City won promotion at Wembley after a nail-biting player final victory against Crewe Alexandra. And that was one of three famous victories in that decade, in 95 against Manchester United and 96 against Everton, both of those of course in the League Cup. And one guy that played in all three of those famous occasions, as well as making 480 appearances for the club, is right back Andy McMillan. So Andy, how did you originally end up at York City Football Club?
It was 1986. I played against York City for Hull City not schoolboys, youth team, and it came to the end of the game, and Ricky had a word with me, my old man who was there, saying, "Oh, who's that lad?" sort of thing. And he said, "Oh, he's just on trial at York." At Hull, sorry. It came to the end of the season, and Hull says we're going to do another year as a non-contract player. And I wasn't getting paid, so I said, I can't do it. So next minute I got a phone call from Ricky Sabrazia. He says, just come down here, and that was it. Took off from there.
So 12 years and 480 appearances later, you must have some great memories of this football club.
I have fantastic memories of this football club. I love the place. I love everything about it, and it's good to see them sort of creeping their way back up again now. It's good, and I love the place.
So you played in three of the greatest games in the club's history, Wembley, Manchester United and Everton.
Yeah.
We'll start with Wembley. That must have been a tremendous occasion for both yourself as a footballer, but also for the club as well.
Absolutely, it was just magical. I mean, I remember Tony Canham, going around asking if anyone had a video camera, and video cameras had just sort of come out then, and father-in-law had one, and I brought it to the game, to the bus, and he was videoing everyone. He went into everyone's bedroom and interviewed them that. Because he just says you can't take this away. These are memories that people can't take away. And I saw that video a couple of years ago, and it was just amazing to see the players. But yeah, it was magical. Wembley was brilliant.
But it nearly turned a bit sour. We could have quite easily lost that game.
Yeah, it was close. Lucky for we had Eldino and Wayne Hall struck the crucial penalty away. So that it was magical to win that. I wouldn't have liked to got beat. That must have been really depressing for the Crewe lads. But yeah, it's great. Memories are still there.
It must have been great to be part of that side, and certainly the fans cherished that side, the promotion side of 1992-93. So I mean, what was the magic ingredient that made it such a good team?
I think John Ward was the magic ingredient, to be perfectly honest. We were struggling a bit before he arrived. He turned the club upside down from the youth level right the way through. He gave you the confidence to go out and play. He bought some crucial players in Paul Barnes, who scored goals. And we just took off from there. He gave you the belief. He said, once you cross that white line, you make your own decisions, but if they're the wrong decisions, I'll be on your back. But he had this presence about him. I mean, he was only a small lad, but he used to walk into a room and, deadly silence, total respect for the man. Fantastic fella. It was sad to see him go.
And so there's one of the most famous games away at Barnet, the day that everybody found out John Ward had gone and Alan Little took over, and then winning 5-1 against unbeaten league leaders. Again, that must quite a surprise that happened, really. I
don't think the players were, because I felt we knew we were a good side, and you have to have that belief in yourselves. We weren't cocky or anything like that. We knew we had a good side. We were all very, very disappointed that John had left in the way he did, and Alan took over and carried it on. And it was a fantastic result, and then definitely make sure we got through to Wembley. So
now it was also under Alan Little that we beat Manchester United 3-0 at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
we had the 10th anniversary celebrations last season. Did that seem a bit surreal?
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it was 10 years ago. That was the main thing. But it was good to see the old players, because you sort of lose touch with a lot of people, and and I thought it was a good idea for the dinner and bringing out the DVD, got everyone back together. But that again was a magical game, because I'm a Man United fan, so just to go there for me was just amazing. And everyone got changed. Everyone went for a warm-up, even those who weren't even in the squad. Just to go onto Old Trafford and then to win was again different class, really.
And after the match, the atmosphere must have been special in the dressing room.
It was silent for a long time, because I think people actually couldn't believe it. Because I remember looking up at the scoreboard with about 5 minutes to go, and just thinking, this can't be real. I must have been pinching myself, thinking we were winning 3-0 here. I mean, everyone says they didn't have a particularly good side, but if you look at their team, they were full of internationals and up-and-coming players who are now playing in the Premiership. So they were certainly good players. But dressing room was a bit quiet for a while, and then it sort of erupted a bit But yeah, good memory as well.
And then the following year, 10 years this season, we beat Everton. Now, obviously a bit less prestigious, but still a massive achievement.
I thought that was probably one of the best games at Bootham Crescent for a long time. I mean, we had some fantastic games in the playoffs, 93, 94, 94, 95. But the Everton game, I think the atmosphere was electric in here. I remember pulling in because we'd gone somewhere for something to eat and pulled in on the bus, and it was just packed to the rafters. And the fans gave us the lift to win that game.
And I suppose having beaten Manchester United and beating Everton almost became, you were expected to beat these teams.
Well, I think it was Southampton after that, and QPR, that was it, yeah. And I think we actually played very well then. And again, I remember the fans at the back banging on the back of the stadium. It was just such a noise, it was fantastic. And I thought we played very well then. I thought we was a bit unlucky to lose that game. But yeah, it was good games.
So a lot of fans talk about loyalty in football these days and how players are only after the money. You spent 12 years at York City. So I mean, I suppose you're a good example of a dying breed of player.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen anymore because when I was playing, the Bosman ruling wasn't in. You couldn't walk away. I got offered contracts and signed them straight away because I was settled. I loved playing for York. I loved being in York. I lived in York. I just love everything about the place. So there was never any questions about going. It's only when it sort of came to a bitter end that you start thinking, well, maybe I should have gone, because there is no loyalty on the other side. You show 12 years of loyalty to as a player, and then next minute you're just given a kick out. I thought the way I was treated was a bit harsh, but life goes on.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question, which is obviously that's your career at York City ended in a kind of bitter way.
Yeah.
You weren't really. I mean, certainly the supporters and everybody, I think, at the club now acknowledges the fact that you were treated very badly. Yeah. Have you got any bitterness about that, maybe towards the individuals concerned?
I'm sure most people will remember the papers. We had a few arguments via Mr. Craig and Neil Thompson. I just thought it was done the wrong way. I can accept decisions are made, and decisions have to be made, and sometimes bad decisions. Their decisions are made, and you have to accept them. But I thought the way it was done was wrong. You talked about loyalty early on. I showed I'd never caused this club any problems. I'd given 110% every game I played, training, functions. I'd be there. On behalf of York City, and I just thought the way it was done was wrong. So I didn't have anything to do with the club for a couple of years. It's only recently I've sort of come back. But no, you just learn to accept it, don't you? But it was harsh.
So you've got your rightful place back at York City doing something. Could you explain to us what you're actually doing now?
Well, last year I did the under-16s and the youth team as part-time coach with Chris Coates and then Ian Kerr. But this year I'm not doing the youth team. I'm just going to do the under-15s with Graham Potter, who again is an ex-pro. So yeah, I enjoy that. We've got some real good kids this year in the youth team that have come up from last year's under-16s. And there's a couple of names that I would imagine in a couple of years will be on the first team sheet because they're that good players.
So Andy, as someone that was as part of our last promotion side, I'm going to have to take the opportunity to ask you as the last question. Do you think the team now that we've got has got the same ingredients, the same kind of things that you saw and experienced in 1992-93?
Perfectly honest, I don't get down to watch a great deal. I've got 3 boys who all play football, so trying to get here to a game is a bit of a nightmare. But what I've heard, because I still have a lot of friends who are fans and that, and they seem to think that they've got a very good chance this year. I've had a couple of conversations with Billy. He seems a genuine bloke. He seems to have got them playing good football from what I hear. So hopefully, touch wood, if they do go back up in the Football League, it gives people, the coaches down below, in the right from the under-8s through to the under-16s, a bit more help financially, because there's some good coaches out there who are getting, well, not getting paid for what they're doing, but they enjoy it because they love York City. So,
well, so we can get promotion. Thank you very much for your time, Andy.
Thank you.